Hey guys, my name is Dan, I'm a veterinarian, and today I'm talking about how serious is a blocked cat. And when I say blocked cat, I mean a cat that can't go pee or urinate. This is actually an incredibly serious problem. Cats that can't pee can be life-threatening. The urine will build up in the urinary bladder, it will creep up the ureters, and it can cause damage to the kidneys in a lot of these cases. What happens in a blocked cat is they get inflammation. You can have infection too, and you can sometimes have stones. But a large majority of them is something called FIC, or Feline Idiopathic Cystitis. It's when the urinary bladder develops inflammation, and that inflammation translates into protein, inflammatory cells, blood cells. All of these things, guys, cause a lot of sludge to build up in the cat's bladder. And when they go to pee through the urethra, in the male cat, it is very narrow when they go to pee. And things get plugged up and they can't go pee then. And then the kitty cat goes and they strain the litter box, they strain, they may even vocalize and meow. And you're just looking at them and thinking like, what is going on? And you go over there and maybe there's a little bit of pee in the box, but not much. And then there's none. If you notice this, guys, this is a medical emergency. I have seen cats pass away from being blocked. Most kitties, you can get them in there, get them patched up, get them fixed, but a blocked cat is an emergency and needs to be addressed ASAP. What a veterinarian is going to do is they're going to pass a urinary catheter and they're going to unblock your kitty. They're going to push all that sludge back into the bladder, and then they're going to leave the urinary catheter in. They'll provide ample fluids, and then that will diurese your kitty, and that will help save the kidneys and dilute out the urine, and then your cat can pee out all that sludge and grossness out of the urinary catheter. Now, of course, guys, there'll be sedation and pain meds on board as appropriate based on your cat's health. As well, they'll do like x-rays to make sure that it is just sludge and inflammation in the bladder and not a stone. Stones do happen, like urinary bladder stones can happen in cats and that can block them up, but it's not incredibly common. Your veterinarian will do some lab work, multiple rounds of it to make sure the kidneys and your kitty's going to survive. And then they're going to do IV fluids and the urine collection bag through the urinary catheter for multiple days in a row. Most veterinarians do it for 2 to 3 days, and they're going to diurese your kitty cat, and then they're going to pull the urinary catheter and make sure your kitty can pee. Of course, antibiotics will be on board. Of course, anti-inflammatories in some capacity. They may even do like a medicine to reduce urethral spasming, like some prazosin. But with that all being said, there'll be a handful of meds, and probably the most important thing they're going to do is change the diet. The diet's paramount in preventing the kitty cat from reblocking. Of course, cats can definitely reblock, and reblocking is definitely common within the first 24 or 48 hours. If you can get a cat nice and stable and cleaned up, there is a good chance that they will not reblock, but the initial 24, 48, 72 hours can be incredibly dicey to see if a cat's going to reblock, just because of all the inflammation and the fact that the urine is still quite dirty and not clean yet. Now, if the kitty cat blocks again, you can reblock and do the same hospitalization thing again. If a kitty cat blocks 3 times, most veterinarians say 3 strikes and you're out. And that means they're going to do something called a PU, where they will open up the urethra so the kitty will have a bigger opening to go potty out of and not get blocked up as much. The deal is, guys, even if you do a PU surgery, those kitties still get inflammation and can still have problems long term. Always talk to your veterinarian about best options, about unblocking a cat, and what they expect long term and expectations right after unblocking. As always, guys, this can be something that is overwhelming and stressful, and it can be expensive. Most people will spend $1,000 to $2,000 for their general practitioners to unblock their cat. If you see a specialist, you're probably looking at 4 to 8. It gets expensive in a hurry. That's why pet insurance is always a good idea, no matter if you have a cat or a dog.